Well, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dave Overholt, the lead pastor here. If you are here because of Mother's Day and you're going to say, Mom, I'm going to be here and go to church. All right, give yourself a hand, pat yourself on the back. It's so good to see so many people here in the midst of a sunshiny day, and we only have, 10 of those all through the year, so it's good. Man, I sometimes get some fun stories. And I was walking our prayer path at our property up on Upper James, and I bumped into somebody else, and they said that they take their 4-year-old out praying. Isn't that awesome? I think that's awesome. And he loves to pray on the bench. There's a bench there. Can I just say, I have no idea how that bench got there. Somebody made that thing. It's beautiful, and it magically appeared like the prayer bench elves, I think. I don't know. But they're there, and he goes and sits on the bench with his 4-year-old, and they pray. But he's now connected bench with prayer, and so he goes through a city park and goes, Let's sit on that bench and pray for people. Isn't that awesome? So use our prayer path and just keep on bringing your kids there and getting them all excited about what God can do. I need to just highlight two things that are so dear to my heart. One, you've got these little pieces of paper on a chair near you. It's about our Hearing God seminar. This one thing changed my spiritual life. It totally did. I can't say that about a lot of things. This did. And there's a way of just walking with and hearing God. And we pray and talk to him so many times. And just imagine if you could actually hear back from him. I think you can. We're going to spend a whole day hearing through scriptures and actually experiencing that on Saturday. Next Saturday, if you have any way to make that available, I just invite you to come. If you've come before and you say, I'd like to practice that more, come on out. We have to charge for the meal and all the printing. If this is your second time, it'll be half the price. And the other meeting is tomorrow night. It is really for our partners, but anybody that calls Church on the Rock home, come on out. Because there has been some decisions that have been made about our building, and we need to discuss it. We need to talk. We need to be family. Can we be family and come out tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow night, 6:30. And it's going to go, we think, at latest till 8:30. We're going to try and pare that back if we can. But please, this is exciting times for our church. So that's tomorrow night. Well, I'm going to jump in and pray, and let's get started at the last bit of our last part of the series of making wise decisions. Oh, Heavenly Father, your word is so beautiful. So beautiful because it reveals who you are. So, Lord, I just pray that you'll open up your word and allow us to take from it and revel in it and enjoy your beauty in it. In Jesus' name, amen. A few months ago, as I sort of planned the series ahead of time, I was listening to God, and basically all I heard was helpful. This next thing has to be helpful. And so I landed on the whole idea of we can do a whole series about making wise decisions. And the thing is, I'm constantly referring back to is this book in the Bible called the Book of Proverbs. And the Book of Proverbs is just packed with wisdom. And if you don't know how to have a devotional walk, if you don't read the Bible every day, and if you want to start in an easy way, you don't have to know Bible history, you don't need to even know Bible stories. You can jump into the Book of Proverbs anytime. And I just asked you to try the Proverbs project. So whatever date it is, you turn to that proverb and start to read through it, and you stop whenever you get a good idea, latch onto that good idea, and just carry it with you for the rest of the day. That's all you do, all right? So here's a test. Last time we're going to do the test shows your IQ, all right? This is an IQ test. Today is May the 8th, right? Okay, the question is, what chapter of Proverbs would you read today? You would read chapter? No one said anything else. That's good. Good. You got the idea. The last 3 weeks we were talking about, we just picked out pieces from the book of Proverbs. Number one, in first week, we just said you need to learn from your junk. So many times after you make a dumb decision, me included, I hit my forehead. That's why I have a nice flat forehead. I go, what was I thinking? Right? Okay, maybe I just do that. I go, what was I thinking? Well, that's a good question. We said, could you actually stop and ask that question in reality? Could you take some time to journal that? Could you ask God, what was I really thinking? Who was I trying to impress? What person was I following instead of you? And you'll be surprised at God, how God whispers. I've had more than one person come up over the last few weeks and say, Dave, that one question, that one thing, own your junk, has changed my life. Really. You've come back and said, this has changed my life. Second week, we said, take time. Time is not your enemy. You know, the last ship has not sailed. It is, all the fish in the sea are gone, or because the sea is too polluted, there are no more good fish left. The deal is, take time to collect. You collect alternatives. You collect things that are negative. If you make the good decisions, take time to collect. It's the feedback I've got on this has been wonderful. Somebody was hosting a celebration. I won't give you any more details, and they didn't know whether they should get this one person to speak or not to speak. Speak or not to speak. It was a yes or no decision, and we talked about collect alternatives. And so they said, okay, what alternative could we go? Well, how about if we get them to speak, but we asked them only to speak on this? And all of a sudden they said, Dave, it helps so much to collect different alternatives. Somebody close to me was going to an event, and they didn't know whether they should go to the event or not go to the event. And so what she did was she just all of a sudden decided, let's collect some alternatives. And she collected an alternative, and she went to the event taking somebody with her. And it was wise. It was good. And so many times we think, yes, no. Maybe there are 3 or 4 other options. And so time is not your enemy. The book of Proverbs says, time is your friend. Take time to collect. Last week we talked about play the movie forward. Imagine what your decision would be in the future, good or bad. Just play that movie forward. Look out 5 years from now. Would you regret doing or undoing things? Look forward 10 years. Does that make you smile, or do you go, oh, I don't know how that one's going to turn out? And play the movie forward. That's probably one I use most as I talk to people. Could you just play the movie forward? At the end of the day, these are just little touches in the book of Proverbs. I would love you to take that book and fall in love with it. Get your fingerprints all over the book of Proverbs, Church on the Rock. So good. Well, we have one last one. The last one is here about the word hate. Hate. I just want to take a little survey here. When you were a child, how many people here did your mom or dad say, don't use the word hate? Okay, it's too strong. Don't use the word hate. Awesome, yeah. Good parents. Today, I am going to get you to embrace hating. Embrace your hate. All right, we're going to embrace our hate. Okay, so Dave, hold on. Is this really? Okay, we're really a cult. No, the idea is hate is such a strong emotion, and that's why your mom and dad are good in not wanting you to hate. But hate is like this autoimmune thing that you just can't help, but I will not. Hate is so strong, isn't it? I'm going to get you to embrace hate today. And the beautiful thing is there are some things that actually hurt us and that we hate. I can't tell you something I hate. I don't dislike. I don't vote against it. It's not like sometimes yes, sometimes no. I hate sour milk. There's reasons why I have a wife, many of them. But one of them is that she's helped me not to open up the fridge and take a carton of milk and just drink it right away. Right out of the carton. I don't know. I think most men figure that out genetically. We're just supposed to drink out of the carton, aren't we, guys? Yeah, okay. I need some male grunts here. Well, I remember I went and opened up the carton, just went and slugged her down. It was at least past 5 days. There's little chunks in it. Can I tell you something? I couldn't make it out the door. I dropped the carton, which was a bad idea. And then I turned over and removed the contents of the milk from my mouth, from my esophagus, and from my stomach, and I think from my small intestine. And from that moment on, I take the carton. Because I am now wise, I open the little spout and sniff it before I chug it. So, if I was a philosopher, I would say, I hate, therefore I spewed. All right? Can I read to you from the book of Proverbs? Proverbs chapter 16, verse 16 to 19 says this. And if you're new to Church on the Rock, we read out the bolded things together. So could we read? Never mind. We won't read the bolded things together. We're going to read the whole thing. It's awesome. Let me just read this, all right? Let's read this. There are 6 things which the Lord hates. Yes, 7 which are an abomination to him. Okay, this you can tell he's not like, it's not that he votes against it. Kind of, sort of. He hates it. It's an abomination. Haughty eyes, which basically is that being arrogant, being proud, thinking that you, instead of you being equal, you are above someone else. A lying tongue. Can I just say, I'm not going to breeze over that one because there's a lot of ouch in that one. Because we all have done that, right? Like me too. God hates that. Hands that shed innocent blood. Woo, okay, I'm good. Woo-hoo, I got one off the list. A heart that devises wicked plans. All depends how you define wicked, Dave. Yeah. Feet that run rapidly to evil. A false witness who utter lies. It's in a very unofficial kind of lying way. And get this one who spreads strife among brothers. Breaking up community, forming little cliques, or where one's whispering against the other, that kind of thing. It's an abomination. Like right up there with killing people. And so I'm not talking about hating people. In fact, we're not supposed to hate anyone. In fact, the Bible tells us to honor all people. 1 Peter 2:17 says honor all people. And why do we do that? Because every person in this room and out there is made in the image of God. And so I honor the image of God in them, no matter what their brain capacity, no matter what they do to me or for me. I honor them just because they are made in the image of God. And they're beautiful people, somehow. So, therefore, I honor the image of God in them. And Jesus said we're even supposed to love our enemies and pray for them. And that's part of honoring. But the thing is, I'm supposed to hate attitudes in actions. Can I just say, I believe that we're defined by what we love and hate. We are defined by what we love and hate. If you hate nothing, and if you love nothing, basically you're a jellyfish that follows everyone else. And you do not preload decisions. This is called preloading decisions. The social scientists talk about preloading decisions. They did a simple experiment of this, asking students to go and write a paper about their Christmas Day. It had to turn in on Christmas, on Boxing Day, the end of Boxing Day. So you had one day to do the paper. And half the kids, they just gave the assignment. The other half of the kids, they had to sit and visualize, preload. When am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? And as they preloaded their decision, the results were amazing. Those who actually thought ahead, played the movie forward, actually thought, this is what I'm going to do. And so in some ways, we are preloading, this is what I will always be for, and this is what I will always be against. Remember, I had a business friend who, he said, Dave, I just hate deception. He said, Dave, I will be so straight with you, but I need you to be straight with me. That just because he did that already set all kinds of decisions ahead of time. People felt safer around him because all those hundreds of decisions were already made for him. I think this is what repulses us about politicians. We don't talk about politics here at Church on the Rock, but what repulses me when I hear some politicians that go, yeah, well, what do you stand for? And they're taking the poll of the people, and whatever everybody else is going to vote for, they will go for. And you see, why are you even there then? We can just take a poll, and then that's what we'll do. I want to know that somebody actually stands for something. You have a personality. There's something about you that is real. Proverbs 8:13 says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Pride, arrogance, and the evil way, and the perverted mouth I hate. You see, there are some things that we need to hate. Not people, actions and attitudes. And I think some of that just starts to define who we are. The fear of the Lord, I've heard one person say, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Fear of the Lord is that he watches and weighs everything we do. And so, I think that should give you some respect for God. It should also allow you to preload some decisions for you. If God is watching and weighing this, then that should help you to make some decisions. We begin with the fear of the Lord with a hate list. I'd love everybody here to develop a hate list. No people's names allowed, okay? Bad Christian, okay? But what things can you stand for? I got thinking about this and I started my hate list. I've done this before in my journal. Can I say I'm ashamed my hate list is small? But after this, I'm wanting and asking God to grow my hate list. I hate arrogance. I just do. Hate it most in myself. God let me see my own pride once. I thought I was better than someone else, and it just like he peeled back and he got to see the stink of my own life, and I wept for hours. I did. I was messed up. And I just want to stay away from me being better than anyone else. I am not better than anyone else in this building. No way. I don't care how many accolades I have, how many letters behind my names, what price I make on my check. I am not better than anyone else. It repulses me. And so there's other people that want to come into partnership that just I smell that whiff of pride, and I honor them, but I stay far away. Why? Because I hate pride. I hate discord. Can I just tell you, I just hate discord. Man. Oh, I do. That gossip, that slander. Can I tell you something about Dave? Is it good? Well, not. Why don't you talk to him? I just hate this discord. I've seen this happen. I've seen it rip apart churches, small groups, best friends, families. And I've seen the carcasses along the way. Man, I will stop a whole ministry if I see that it's going to cause discord. Because, not that I do not like any person, I just hate discord. It's just, you know that about me. I hate rebelliousness. I hate robbing God. This is not a message about giving, but you have to know something. I make sure that we always give our 10% to the church, flat out. And then we start to get the fun giving on top of that. I remember when we first started as a church, it was interesting. So many young people, we had these open buckets like you have there. And you know what would happen? The kids would be making change. All I got is a 5. And they put the 5 in, root around there to take money out. And so we put lids on the bucket. No way. I remember somebody when our first church started, they said, Dave, well, I need $20 for gas. Can you just take it out of the offering and give it to me? I said, don't you ever say that again. It is holy stuff. Here, I will give you $20. You don't touch that stuff. That is holy stuff. I don't know why. I just hate that. I do not want to rob God. It's fun. As I went over my own hate list, I'm asking God to start a hate list in me. Isn't that interesting? I'm asking him, he's been convicting me, I need a Sabbath. I need a regular Sabbath. And so I am developing the hate of not having a Sabbath. Isn't that weird? But I want to be, that's who I am. I will have a day, an afternoon, sometime where I get alone and spend my time with God. You don't do my stuff. You don't do my list. You make your own list. But hate well, people. Stand for something. Say, I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to preload decisions already because this is who I am. Some people say you get what you tolerate. And Romans 12:9 says, love must be sincere. Isn't that good? I can't just say, hi, and really hate you in the back of my mind. Bad Christians. It's got to be sincere. I've got to come to God and make sure that I love you. Love must be sincere. We all love that. We checked that off. We said, this is part of Church on the Rock, isn't it? We are a loving church. I think I've been to a lot of churches in my lifetime. I'm not sure if I've seen a more loving church than Church on the Rock. I really haven't. I see what happens between us. Right after love must be sincere, it says, hate what is evil. Not hate people, but develop a hate list of what is evil. Start to define yourself to say, this is what I'm going to not do and do. I see so many people in the Bible that do this. I love the story of Joseph. Joseph, just imagine for a minute, if you've never heard of this story of Joseph. Joseph, young brother, 17. The Bible says he was built, chiseled. Yeah, kind of like me. And so, except he was 17. He was 17. I got a decade or two on him, all right? or 3 or 4 or that lying thing bothers me. So, chiseled 17-year-old Joseph, packed full of hormones. I know you guys. I know you got packed. Their body doesn't even know what to do with them, all right? He gets thrown in a pit, taken away from his family, taken away from his religion, taken away from worship, taken away from all accountability. Woo-hoo! He lands in a house with a cougar. Potiphar's wife. She's got eyes for him. And she approaches him, and he tries the logical method. No. And the reason is because your husband has given me all these things, and we can't. But then she arranges things so he has to come beside him. Ugh, evil woman. And so he just starts, he stops the logical method, and he just avoidant method, good method. Third time, she grabs him. His method was to run. He just had something in him that said, I'm not going there, no matter what. I'm not going there, I'm not going there, I'm not going there. I hate that. This is who I am. We need to develop a list. Can we learn to start to hate sin? And I know that's easy, hate all sin. I think as we specify it, it becomes much more personal. And that's why I love these hate lists. Sin hurts me. It just hurts me personally. It hurts the one that loves me. Hurts the one that has died and rose again for me. Unfortunately, we live in the urban jungle here in Hamilton, and there are raccoons. And aren't they cute? If you lived in the country, there'd be another solution for raccoons, wouldn't there? We have a back porch that we have boards down, and we put gravel down and make sure it's all good. But there's a raccoon that went and found the place and dug out the gravel and gnawed the wood to go in under my porch and deposit babies there. Aww. If I was in the country, there'd be another solution. I heard a story once where somebody decided to take in one of these baby raccoons and say, oh, they're so cute. And they petted the baby raccoon. And they took it to the vet, and the vet says, listen, there's going to be a time when the raccoon becomes a teenager raccoon and hormones hit, and they just become very violently wild. You have to let the thing go. And the little girl said, no, I won't do that. And so she held on to the raccoon. One moment it hit the thing. 3 reconstructed surgeries later on her face. She thought that was a bad idea to hold on to the raccoon. If we hold on to sin, it's not because God hates us. It's because it hurts us. Sin hurts us, and it hurts the one we love. And so when you say yes to Jesus, we admit that we have sin. In other words, we want to turn from it. And can we start to develop a hate list? I'm going to move on. Can you also develop some things called convictions? These are for people who have been Christians for a while. And if you've been a Christian for a while and you go, okay, I got this. This is a sin message, Dave. I'm going to ask you, have you ever developed a thing called convictions? Convictions are different than sin. Sin is like, we stroke that all off our list, but there are some things that we go, listen, this is not bad for everybody, but it's going to be bad for me. So I'm going to set up a little guardrail. You know how they have guardrails. Do you notice something? Guardrails are not right at the edge of the cliff. They come back a little bit. They give you a little bit of margin, right? Can you develop some guardrails in your life that you can say, listen, this is not for everybody. I can't pass judgment on you, and you can't pass judgment on me, but I'm going to develop a thing called convictions. The Bible talks about this. There are things that are right and wrong for everyone, and then there's some things that are wrong for some people. Isn't that weird? It's in the Bible. Romans 14, it says this, therefore let's stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or an obstacle in your brother or sister's way. As one who is in the Lord Jesus, I'm fully convinced that no food is unclean in itself. He's talking about eating food to idols. But if anyone regards something as unclean, then for him it's unclean. So if it's going to hurt you, if it's going to put you in jeopardy somehow, if it's going to twist you, then don't do it. Develop this thing called convictions. There are things wrong for everyone, and there's some things that are wrong for some people. We don't make our convictions a rule for everyone. And then we just become Pharisees. And we've been to Pharisaical churches, haven't we? I have. They make these rules for everyone. Can I tell you some of my own convictions and my non-convictions? That will bother some of you. It's awesome. I love violent movies. Yes, thank you. Mayhem, bullets, awesome. That's great. Now, I know some of you say, well, how can you be a holy pastor and love violence? I figure the Bible is full of it, so, read some Bible stories. Put that on the screen. It would not be a pretty scene. Okay, so I know some people, including some very close to me, say, Dave, how can you be godly and watch violence? I don't know. I take that to God. It doesn't seem to bother me. Can I tell you, I can't watch horror movies. I just can't. I can't. They seem evil to me, and if I just see some of it, it brings up stuff in me. I'm not going there. But you know what? I'm not going to preach against horror movies because some people say, yeah. I go, good. Really bring that one to God, but okay. I'm not going to make my rule your rule, but bring it to God and develop a conviction about what you are going to do. I don't drink alcohol. That was a decision I made when I was 16 years old, made a vow to God. I figured that was a love gift to him. So I just gave that, said, next time, the very first time I'm going to have a glass of wine is in heaven with you, Jesus. And that was just between me and him. Do I think it is wrong, biblically wrong to drink alcohol? Of course not. It would be really hard to prove that biblically. In fact, there's a lot of wine going around in the Bible. I know a lot of it was watered down, but still there is alcohol floating around in there. So I do not preach against that. In fact, I go out and buy the stuff to help some other people. That's love you, honey. You guys know way too much about my life right now, okay? But can I tell you, that's a conviction of mine. It's a conviction of mine. You can push it out at me. You can laugh at me. You can make jokes about it. I will not. That's just a conviction. I don't put my conviction on you. That's what God told me to do. As a youth worker, I just knew I didn't want to do that around young people. I just knew that that would not be good. And that's, again, just me, not everyone else. That's my conviction. Weird convictions. I have a hard time listening to secular music. Isn't that weird? It's not wrong for everybody. I dance like you wouldn't believe. I even got my own dance, the preacher. It's awesome. I dance it up big. And I'll do that. I'll dance up big to Twist and Shout. It's my favorite. But as I'm driving along, it's just not me. And so I don't bother with it. That's something that I'm not into. And this answer, I'm going to pull out I'm going to pull the cork on this one. This is awesome. This is why I just want us to develop convictions. Can you not judge each other about the things that are not clear in the Scriptures? In the clear in the Scriptures, we have to talk to each other. We're asked to do that. But can you actually put some guardrails? And this answers the question, the Harry Potter question, doesn't it? Awesome. I know I just said that out loud, didn't I? Because I know that there's some people that think Harry Potter is from the devil and that you get demonized if you watch it. And some people love it. Just bring it to God, will you? And I won't judge you. And you do not try and push that on me. And just say, can you develop some convictions? Say, God, what do you want me to do? Come to and listen to him. And be willing to drop it. Or willing to say, we're good. Can we develop a hate list? Hate sin. Develop convictions. And separate the actions and attitudes from the people. We love the person, hate the sin. How do you do that? I think if we hate well, we hate what sin is doing to people. We hate what sin is doing to people. And so, hating that puts down a person and destroys relationship is not done well. We need to say things like this: I love you, but I really don't like what you're doing in this situation. How can we make this better? I love you, I'm committed to you, but I see the sin in you, and it is hurting you, and I love you. Even the Proverbs say in Proverbs 15:18, a hot-tempered person stirs up dissension, but a patient person calms down a quarrel. I'm going to ask our worship team to come on up. As we get ready to worship, I'm going to ask you to do something. Sometime today, sometime this next week, could you start a hate list? Not about people, but can you start to say, God, what have you already developed in me that I do not want to cross and do not want to touch? And can I just say that if there's nothing on your list now, you need to start. If you're just open for anything, you're going to be pushed down a path that will end in your destruction. If you have a small list, say, God, what's the next thing you want to, whether it's a hate against sin, whether it's a conviction of mine, can you develop that in me? And can you ask God for the next thing? And if you don't know how to listen to God, come out to a really good seminar this Saturday. It's interesting. There's a guy in the 1700s called John Woolman. He owned a big cotton factory during the height of slavery in the United States. He was a Quaker. He was a serious Christian. He's committed to Christian love. And he just decided he would not buy any cotton that had either been picked or even touched by any slave. He made that decision. He would not do that. Why? He lost money like crazy. His business did not grow, but he hated slavery. And so because of that, people came to him who knew what that stood for. And he did what he did with excellence and with conviction. May I say, may his tribe increase amongst us. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for helping us to make wise decisions. And Lord, thank you that we can preload these decisions by, what you want us to turn from. So we trust in you that you would make this clear to us. I know you still speak. Lord, thank you now for our time of worship. And if there's any conviction, Lord, we just ask that it will be pure and that it will just be around that one event and that we can come and confess things to you. Lord, please work in developing us to be holy people of you. In Jesus' name, amen.